Bonjour, bienvenue et welcome to notre saison 24-25. Notre première soirée avec de Clug, ça a commencé le 24 octobre au théâtre du Capitole. Avec moi ce soir, notre deux chorégraphes, Ángel Rodríguez pour la Sémiramis et Clug pour Don Juan. My first question is, it is a whole evening with the music from Christoph Willibald Clug. And Clug, the Baroque music, it's a special kind of music. Did you already choreograph to Baroque music?
Maybe? Moi, oui.
Oui.
Moi, oui. J'ai déjà fait quelques pièces, j'utilisais de musique baroque. Alors, c'était pas la première fois, même si cette fois-ci, c'était pour moi un peu plus compliqué. Parce que ce que je trouvais, c'était pas tellement le truc que ça soit une musique baroque, sinon que ça soit vraiment avec des petites parties comme ça, vraiment courtes. Et puis c'était assez compliqué c'était comme un challenge, non? Un peu comme ça, pour avoir un tout, pour former
vraiment... Parce que
vraiment...
ce n'est pas en grand musique, c'est le petit...
Ouais, c'est de petits, c'est une minute, moins d'une minute, une minute et quelques. Alors ça fait toujours un peu, c'est compliqué, non? Alors c'est pour ça que j'ai essayé de lier chaque partie pour faire un tout et que ça ne soit pas des petits morceaux comme si c'était une espèce de gala, comme ça, des petites scènes et faire un tout, comme ça, avec le ballet.
And Edward?
Yes, I did in the past, and it was a similar context when I was commissioned or invited to create Stabat Mater, Pergolesi's Stabat Mater. So it was not my idea or my intention, and I asked myself the same as because music it's one thing, but when it's called Don Juan, it also implies a certain approach. So I had, so to speak, thoughts. How can you depict Don Juan, the story, in the way and the liberties at that time, imagined Gluck, and how the significance of the music would respond to today's audience, and nevertheless to me as a choreographer. And the first thing, I was a little bit concerned in, and I think it's something that Ángel mentioned too. The music, in a way, it's written as a divertissement. So many musical numbers or songs follow each other in a certain scenario that does not really, in a way, speak in certain scenes or moments of the story, but it seems in a way very episodic. And I wanted to use this character and this structure of the music. That means that we have very quick and very short situations. Therefore, I imagine that we have to come up with a concept that would allow us to use the space in such a way. And from that aspect, we could eventually try to depict not necessarily a story, and I was basically in the same foyer a few months ago, and I was absolutely convinced that no, it's not going to be a story ballet, which is not the case now, but it's a very understanding story.
Okay. But this would have been one of my next questions. Do you tell a story? Do you tell a story? Because Sémiramis, an old queen, Don Juan, a very known seducer in history, so you do tell a story without telling a story.
Well, if I may continue, of course, Don Juan, in time became, his legend. It's a myth, and of course the modern, people or audience, they ask themselves, what's Don Juan today? And I'm actually not so much preoccupied with that, because I want to do the other way around, to bring the tradition into a contemporary aesthetic, but let its message and purpose basically the same. So here, basically, I have to come closer with my needs and my choreographical language and the theatrical aspect of that. Very close to this very intriguing historical figure.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Legend.
Legend, yeah.
Yes.
Is there a Don Juan in you?
Yes. No. I didn't wait until the end of the question because I thought you're going to ask me, is there a Don Juan in the piece? Did you find it?
Yes,
But it was a confession. I think each one has a desire, of Don Juan, but of course we cannot behave that way. So of course, you have to transport yourself in the mind of such a character, and to understand what is that. And in a way, it's understandable. For him, it's the goal once achieved, when he arrives into the center of the heart, the mission is complete. Then he has to move to the next and the next and the next heart. So I'm definitely not a Don Juan.
No, but also as a choreographer, it's the same for you. You don't only imagine Don Juan, but you also have to imagine Scanarelle, Donna Anna, all the characters, and then who is the group? What are you doing with the corps de ballet? I mean, you have to arrive in your head with all the characters, no? So it's not only the main character. Okay, you maybe.
We tried. It was a sort of experiment, because first we did. Unconnected, dance moments. I just wanted to see how, as I mentioned before, I respond to various songs, to Baroque music, and immediately, because the dance, the music, it's very dancing, because they are almost, folk dances in some moments. So very easy could become, too obvious or maybe a bit banal, just dancing on this music. So. In the same time, I didn't want to run away from this and do something completely that would oppose that atmosphere in the music, but find ways, middle ways and small compromises that, the music accepts, your ideas as well, not only the other way around.
Yeah, yeah. And with Sémiramis, a queen, an old known queen.
Yeah, well, in my case, I don't tell a story. Yeah.
Okay.
Quand j'ai reçu la proposition de Sémiramis, je savais pas très clair quoi faire, non, parce que en fait c'est une pièce qui est pas trop longue, et pour raconter une histoire, je trouvais que c'était vraiment pas assez de temps pour raconter vraiment quelque chose d'important, non, quelque chose d'intéressant. Alors finalement, ce que je fais, c'est essayer de trouver un concept. J'ai pris un concept de la pièce en étudiant le rôle de Sémiramis. C'est une reine vraiment avec beaucoup de pouvoir, et puis c'est une femme qui à travers le temps est devenue vraiment une légende. Alors c'est-à-dire on ne sait plus ce qui est réel et qui n'est pas, non, vraiment. Quand ça est arrivé au présent, non, ça a inspiré beaucoup dans la littérature, dans la peinture, etc. Et alors je trouvais que ce concept, ça devrait être quelque chose vraiment relationné avec la femme. Alors de mon côté, c'est un hommage à la femme, vraiment, une femme actuelle qui a été tissée pendant le temps pour arriver jusqu'au présent, et qui est devenue vraiment quelque chose de très réel, non, et très actuel en même temps, non, qui est vraiment relationné avec la femme d'aujourd'hui, avec une femme qui a du pouvoir, qui a la parole pour s'exprimer, qui est femme, qui est sœur, qui est amie, qui est sœur, qui est mère. Je veux dire, beaucoup de rôles, non, dans l'histoire. Et en même temps, en train de jouer avec l'égalité de sexe, non. Alors, c'est plutôt ça, non. Ce que je fais, j'essaie de développer vraiment pas une histoire, ni sinon travailler avec ces concepts d'une femme forte, d'une femme pressante, avec ce côté féminin, mais aussi avec un côté masculin, non? Comme je pense que tout le monde a, non?
So, nous avons une soirée avec une femme et un homme.
Voilà.
So, c'est politically très correct. No?
Très correct, yeah.
And when you're creating, because I guess for the audience that's interesting, do you come with everything is ready in your head, you come and then you show with the dancers, or is there also room that the dancers inspire you, change maybe your ideas, work with you, offer you? So is this a collaboration, or is it sort of like, because I guess you have heard the music a million times at home alone because you know the music when you come, so, but is there room for the dancers in a creation like this, or how is your approach, how are you working?
But in my case, I work at home in an idea, no? But I prefer to work on the studio with the people. Normalement, parce que ça dépend, c'est pas toujours pareil, non? Je parle de ce cas-là, non? Moi, j'ai pas une méthode où chaque fois que je fais un ballet, c'est toujours la même façon. Il y a des fois, ça arrive à travers la musique, l'inspiration. Il y a des fois, je veux raconter quelque chose, puis alors je cherche la musique pour voir ce que je pourrais trouver pour vraiment exprimer ce que je veux, vraiment exprimer. Dans ce cas-là, j'avais la musique et j'avais le personnage, j'avais déjà le titre. Alors, j'avais des images, j'essayais de créer des images dans ma tête avec cette musique. Et puis attendre dans le studio pour voir est-ce que les danseurs me donnent, mais pas comme une collaboration à travers le mouvement, plutôt avec des caractères de chacun, la personnalité d'eux. Est-ce que je commence à travailler puisque je vois, est-ce qu'ils me donnent quand je commence à essayer de créer avec eux, non? J'aime bien attendre ce moment-là, quand je suis au studio, pour voir vraiment est-ce que je peux sortir d'eux, non? Et pas venir avec seulement, déjà avec les idées très claires, puis je commence à travailler comme ça, puis créer un truc comme ça, trop carré, non? Je préfère vraiment, évidemment, c'est une idée que tu as dans la tête, et puis ça peut changer, c'est sûr. Tu as des idées, et puis tout d'un coup, tu commences à travailler avec eux, et tu vois que ça ne marche pas, ou que c'est pas ce que tu veux vraiment, ou ce que tu avais dans la tête quand tu commences à travailler avec eux, ou même si ça marche, tu vois que ça se développe dans un autre sens, et qui est mieux, que c'est plus intéressant. Et puis tu essayes, je suis toujours ouvert, non, à ça, je crois que c'est vraiment intéressant. Je suis sûr que lui, il est aussi un peu comme ça, non, ouvert, et puis travailler avec les danseurs pour voir ce qui se passe et ce qui arrive, et puis changer des impressions et l'inspiration. C'est, pour les artistes, je crois que c'est vraiment très important d'avoir l'inspiration dans le matériel. Ton matériel, c'est quoi comme chorégraphe? C'est les danseurs.
No, I can also say out of experience, like the next program will be Balanchine. Everything is set, everything is ready. Somebody comes and tells you it has to be exactly like this. But this is a creation which is different. I guess you also work, but you normally work, not always, but most of the time with your own company or own dancers that know you for a long time.
No. It was a time when it was like that, but now I mostly make creations for other companies and bring them to my company.
Okay, you make it now the other way around. Okay.
I mean, it's been going on for some times and this allows the company, that I direct, Slovene National Ballet in Maribor. They do creations with other choreographers, so they are not, too, I would say, working with me too much or too intense. But when it comes to creation, in this case, of course, it's a process of exploring, understanding, and nevertheless knowing the dancers in front of you. You come with certain ideas, and a long time now I don't prepare at home in terms of choreography, and I start spontaneous with certain impulse that, you know, in this case come from the music or from the situation in front of you. You know, if you have a male dancer, or you just say, I'm going to work with ladies, so it's going to be, you know, a scene of, or with Donna Elvira or Donna Ana, yeah, or with Ganarelle. So that's already a concrete start, a very clear situation. But then in the process, it's different, and I think Ángel said pretty much the same. You do rely on the creativity and the responsiveness of the dancer. That makes the process, very more interactive, and the dancer participates not necessarily in creating steps, but the way he responds will make you, will lead you in the process. Will lead the next decision, and nevertheless the next step. So the process itself, you just create random material, but you never know why you say, yeah, that's good or that's not good. So it's just you have to be responsive and attent, to the detail, and rely on your,
very open. No?
Yeah, rely on your instinct and mostly on the intuition to make the right decision.
You said something interesting the other day in the studio, and I was sort of like, but you said, like, but how do you know? It has to be right.
Yes.
You want to, but I guess you cannot describe what is it, but there is a moment you do something, you see something, and then you feel it's right, but also I guess you both arrive to the point it doesn't feel right, and then you decide to change?
Changes, there is a moment when, and you aim to arrive there, long enough before the premiere, so you can make still these, certain selections, and you understand even the thing you thought it's fantastic. You understand that it was just a moment of, self-adoration, which it's deflated and it doesn't work anymore. And I like to be very objective and very critical, in a humorous way, the way this piece unfolds, Don Juan. It's a tragic comedy. And I try to be, down to earth and not to get too excited in the process. So leave room for a double check. To come back and recheck, and sometimes you even change completely, the song, and this happened also because of Clug. We just did before summer when I started the process, I don't know, a trio, a so-called a conflict between Don Juan and Donna Ana's brothers, and it was on a flamenco music, which is quite unexpected in the.
It's very unexpected. This one
the composition,
one.
This Spanish tune all of a sudden. Okay, Don Juan, the legend come from Spain. So working on another moment, which is right before this song, so on the previous song, and we ended up into an awkward situation with Don Juan. I said, now we simply cannot get to that trio, which would follow on that music. So we had to invent something new, which works much better. So sometimes, the process works for you. And when you are that far approaching the end, then it's a very pleasant moment when you have the feeling that, not only the feeling, but the piece tells you what it needs. So, your needs are kind of like, going to on the second plan, and you have to understand what the piece needs to.
Yes, you had the same experience, no? With one song with the ladies where you changed.
Yeah, I changed. I think twice or three. Yeah, I think it's the same case, no? For me, sometimes I take at home because I think I have to have a little distance, no? Yeah. Take a more distance. When I check the video, and then you realize, no, when you are really out, because when you are in the studio, sometimes you are in another mood, in another world, no? And when you take distance at home and you watch the video, just in my case, I don't know, in your case, is when you realize if it works or not, or I don't want this, or I want to continue with this kind of.
Is it in this case actually easier to work with the music that get composed for your idea than having a piece that is existing through a theme like a Sémiramis, a queen, Don Juan, a legend that is existing? Would it be easier if it would have been a composition, or is the Baroque music, is the Glück, I guess it's in German you would say Fluch und Segen. I think it's good, no?
It's not about being easier. It's a completely different approach, and especially when you have a topic, a title, that depicts a clear story, and you, in this case, I think we found a very appropriate behavior, and how to treat the music and the story in the same time, and also to leave some room for the dance. You constantly have to find solutions. So it wouldn't be my first choice of music that I would go and just do something that comes really from my instincts. So you have a material already, and you have to enter a dialogue that requires a very, very meticulous research and exploration. So I like this, and I can't say what I like better. I like to do everything,
But it's just different. It's two worlds.
You have different relations, like Don Juan, with each new project. And if you come to a point to fall in love with it, then it's very nice. So I'm approaching that point now.
But I guess, I don't know, but I guess also I had that trap in the beginning because I know the opera Don Giovanni very well, and there is a story, and there's the music, and and you have some scenes, and the commendatore, and then you have this and this. But this is only in 45 minutes, which is like not the 3 hours opera where they have a lot of time. So it's different.
Maybe too much time.
Maybe too much, yeah.
Maybe too much time.
Maybe too. Yeah, but also in opera sometimes they have 5 minutes to say I love you or I die. You know, they like the world just stops at that moment, and somebody takes the time to explain that 1 second of thought into a 5 minutes aria. So which we sometimes do in ballet as well. No, sometimes the time stops and they just have this fantastic pas de deux or this fantastic solo where it's just about that one emotion that we dance out, no? We have somehow in ballet we use the same thing. So, but I do think, or I do hope that the audience can make that steps. Like Don Giovanni is an opera, has nothing to do with our Don Juan. It has the same title.
No,
it has
actually,
a bit to do.
People will have their expectations, and I will serve them with a lot of gratitude. Not necessarily in the way they would expect, and that's the pleasure of rediscovering the story in a different environment, through the music and dance, because we have the commendatore, and the statue and the ghost. We have Don Juan, we have Donna Anna, we have Scanarelle. And the wonderful group of ladies and gentlemen, but Molière, it's present in a different, I would say, order of expectation, and that's interesting because everybody has a clue. But probably not everybody read Molière. Many people, theater people, saw Mozart's Don Giovanni. So I'm sure that they will really enjoy this allegory, in fact, and this short depiction of Don Juan.
I think this is also the chance of dance, no? That we tell the stories that we are telling in dance, we tell them through our body, non-verbal. There is no singer, there is nothing. We have the music, the message, we have our emotions and our bodies, and we still tell stories, which is so international. We don't need languages of French, English, Romanian, Serbian, German to understand. We can go there and we can
But
tell.
then again, not necessarily explaining through the dance and with the body certain emotions, yes. But as I said, you know, the theatrical aspect of my work in general, no matter story or without a story, the context, the set, and all the environment that we create, they are very clear structures that help us tell the story, that create situations that resembles associations and, or I mean, provoke or, yeah, literally trigger the attention of the public, and also they're, you know, they are treated in a way to respond to these images, and you know, not necessarily understanding literally what it is, but they figure out what's going on, I'm sure.
Now that you said, do you also like how close have you worked? I mean, of course, one always works close with his teams, but I guess how the look like of set and costumes is very important also for you, no? From the start, from the beginning, is it? Do you influence your team, or they come with ideas and feed you?
I think it's from both sides.
Both
no?
talking at the same time.
I'm personally very concrete when it comes to that. So I spend a lot of time on finding that place. So definitely I can say that I generate the idea, and I have a wonderful team that you know, surprised me how they develop then these let's say initiations or propositions. So, but I like it's very important the way I frame, the way I imagine the space where everything is going to happen. And it's interesting, you know, how we came also with the costumes. Maybe it would be nice to mention this very nice.
Yeah, nice.
Very
we
nice
are here to mention everything.
Coincidence, yes.
Because there's an extraordinary fact. We had something like, it's called the costumière, that it's for me extraordinary to have something like this. Is before we go to the theater, we have one rehearsal in the ballet studio still, where we do like everything we have in costumes with makeup and hair, just to see if everything
how
fits, matches, works. Do we need too short, too long, does it fit? Then when we are at the theater, we can concentrate on set and light and make that work, so that the costumes we know and the dancers also know would work. And then we arrived at the costumière, and there were two choreographers that I guess you didn't know each other beforehand?
No, personally. Yes.
You didn't actually, I mean, we did speak together about the scene, because we had to find a setup, like the color of the floor, the English setup, whatever setup with wings, you know, like all of this was discussed before, because it's one project. But then it arrived that the costumes have the same color tone, I would say. No?
It's the same direction with the color.
The same direction. Yeah, maybe it's the Clug, or it's the color,
it's Clug's color.
It's Clug's color. So, but you, because you said you worked more together,
Yeah, well, l'idée dont il a parlé vraiment de moi, pour moi c'est pareil. Au début, pour moi, c'est vraiment important d'avoir l'idée de tout ce que je veux avoir, non, vraiment, parce que pour moi, un chorégraphe, c'est comme un directeur de scène, comme un directeur de cinéma, vraiment, qui a, chaque département a une chose à faire, mais c'est le directeur qui a l'idée de tout, vraiment, qui visualise tout, non? Alors pour moi, c'est vraiment important aussi avoir ces côtés où je visualise plus ou moins comment est-ce que je vais voir sur scène, hein, en général, comment je vais raconter, non? Et après, avec l'équipe, hein, je transmets ce que je veux faire, ce que j'aimerais faire, ce que je veux raconter, dans quelle idée, dans quel sens, avec quel vocabulaire, de quelle façon. Et bien sûr, je donne des idées que j'ai, mais j'aime bien aussi laisser la porte ouverte, et puis qu'ils proposent vraiment comment ils voient est-ce que je suis en train de leur passer, non? Comme matériel. Je trouve que c'est vraiment quelque chose de très intéressant, et puis en même temps ça peut arriver peut-être plus loin ou t'amener dans un autre monde, un monde différent qui est vraiment intéressant, non? Pour la pièce, pour ce que tu es en train de faire, non? Et puis en même temps, je crois que c'est important parce qu'on est des créateurs en même temps tous, non? Le scénographe, les costumes, c'est des gens créatifs, non? Alors,
c'est aussi les lumières.
Les lumières, les éclairages.
That light can change
it's
everything.
It's everything. Yeah, it's very, very important.
Can make the magic or make it seem flat.
Difference.
Even sometimes the light is the sonography.
Yeah.
Without anything, it's just the light.
Like a scene that sometimes in a studio is so impressive because you see everything, and if it is the wrong light.
And it's very important how you connect with this team. Yeah, you have to be really in the same level, no? The same energy, the same speak, no? The same
so
language.
You arrived in a kind of a Clug color Bordeaux-ish, Bordeaux-esque. But you with your team also, no? You arrived at this...
I mean, the reason we decided for Bordeaux, it's because red would be too obvious. So
yeah.
That's,
for love.
For love, exactly. Because Don Juan requires red. And that was too obvious. So now we came to Glug's brother.
Now we
Glug's
the Glug's color. The Glug's color,
But you know, this color now it's a fashion color. For this season, so
that's the reason.
That's the reason. Absolutely. Yes. Now we have it.
We didn't know it before, but this is the reason.
This it is.
I would like to speak about the dancers.
Exactly.
I'm in love.
And no, I'm in love.
no, I'm in love. Okay. Sorry.
All right.
Love them. I love them from the very first day.
But it is really a fantastic company. So please.
Je suis complètement amoureux des danseurs, vraiment. Ils sont hyper généreux, ils travaillent vachement bien, ils sont toujours là. Je sais vraiment que ça a été vraiment compliqué pour eux. C'est parce que c'est pas facile travailler deux créateurs en même temps où on partage les danseurs, parce que c'est pas une compagnie où on a 100 danseurs et puis on fait moitié-moitié. Alors on partage vraiment les danseurs et puis c'était vraiment difficile pour eux, même pour nous, non? Ils ont été là tout le temps, pas une mauvaise mine, vraiment toujours pressant et toujours travailler, parce qu'ils savent que c'est important pour nous, non? Et puis moi, I really appreciate it.
Towards the end of each process, you realize, it's literally like a relationship, so you know each other, you kind of like, don't speak the same language, then, there are probably some little obstacles in the beginning, but I have to say, not this time. I felt very confident and very comfortable in the studio from the very beginning, and very inspired. I'm gonna miss them and this place, and we didn't even start the real thing on stage.
Exactly.
So it was, we was like in a cocoon in your studios, a little bit outside the center. It was a very, very pleasant process so far, and I look forward with excitement for the last phase of it. And I'm very, very grateful that you came to this idea, to invite me, to invite us, and I'm very happy that
Because also for me, it's a very special evening, as you can imagine. I arrived last season here. It's my first season because it's the first season that I plan, and this is the first we started season with the creation. And I'm very happy that you see that company so positive and so open, because I really think they are fantastic. They can do classic and modern, two creations at the same time that are really, I can say this already, they are really different. Your creations and your approach and also the result, how they have to move. So they have to switch from one rehearsal to the other, and they do this fantastically. But we still, as you said, we have two more big steps to take. One big step is we move in the theater, we start to work on stage, and the second big step is Mr. Saval and his orchestra. Orchestra de la Nation. When it finally, now we worked, or you worked all the time with the CD. And the CD you say, stop, go back and front, but the maestro will give his life, his interpretation to the music, which is another breath, another moment, another spirit, no? Which will, again, like the light, like costumes. So I think when everything comes together, I hope the cocon will not be a cocon, but it will be a sparkling firework on that of Baroque music and of makes the bow from the Baroque music with a modern or a today's language of interpreting it. Your dancers dance without shoes. Yeah. With you, they have shoes, but also there's one moment of point.
Yes. It's the last statement of
It required
Donna Elvira, and for that she needs not high heels but point shoes. She's stronger in a way, imposing in her last attempt to save the unsavable hero.
I'm very happy to hear this, that you had a good time, a good process, and now we're gonna finish it and polish it and bring it to stage. So, à partir du 24 octobre au théâtre de Capitole à Toulouse et en mars à Lycée de Barcelone et en mai en Opéra La Comique de Paris. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.